But I cannot get over how knocked out I am by these lyrics. Could I indulge myself here? I can read them when they're right in front of me. Do I have a minute here to read? Can I read the lyrics to begin the begin? When you hear them read, you realize how good they are. Marlene only sang part of it. When they begin the begin, it brings back the sound of music so tender. It brings back a night of tropical splendor. It brings back a memory evergreen. I'm with you once more under the stars, and down by the shore an orchestra's playing, and even the palms seem to be swaying when they begin the begin. To live it again is past all endeavor, except when that tune clutches my heart. And there we are, swearing to love forever, and promising never to part. What moments divine, what rapture serene, till clouds came along to disperse the joys we had tasted. And now when I hear people curse the chance that was wasted, I know but too well what they mean. So don't let them begin the begin. Let the love that was once a fire remain an ember. Let it sleep like the dead desire I only remember when they begin the begin. Oh yes, let them begin the begin. Make them play till the stars that were there before return above you, till you whisper to me once more, darling, I love you. And we suddenly know what heaven we're in when they begin the begin. That's so sublime. It's really...
Marvelous.
Wow.
You are, you see? This is I brought my little copybook with me. There's one famous example of the skill of his rhyming, which is you showed there, was the song in which he said, I get no kick out of you, was the name of the song, but I get no kick in a plane. And then he had written originally for the show, I shouldn't care for those nights in the air that the fair Mrs. Lindbergh goes through. But then at that moment, the Lindbergh kidnapping took place, and they had to take those lines out of town, and instantly he did a famous thing, which is a 5-way rhyme, which is extremely difficult to do.
Do it.
I get no kick in a plane. Flying too high with some guy in the sky is my idea of nothing at all.
Yeah.
Well, that's practically sublime.
Yeah. 5 ways.
And it's just all playful.
That
all
was
out
one
of
that had the
nothing.
cocaine line in it, which they sometimes extract from.
This is another thing that happened, that he worked within such strict limits in terms of the permissibility of the time. He would love to have gone so much farther than he could. It was just that Love for Sale that she sang, you see, was a song that was censored, wasn't allowed
It was banned
on
on
the
the
air.
airways
Yeah.
for quite a while, Love for Sale, yeah. Seems harmless now. Can we get a quick shot of an old friend of ours? Look at that photograph. Yeah. And here's a show where Jimmy Durante and Ethel Merman were the stars, and they both insisted on top billing. And Cole Porter came up with this. It crossed, and every 2 weeks they reversed that in case one of them thought that dominated. And Bob Hope got third. That's strange. Red Hot and Blue, that was.
Yes, a long time ago.
Was his marriage happy? Did he get a good break that way?
Well, it was a strange marriage, and fairly rocky from time to time. In fact, they were temporarily estranged at the time of the accident, and it was the accident that made Linda come back and join him here in New York, and then they stayed more or less together, although at the end of their lives they were having separate apartments in the Waldorf Towers. Mm-hmm. And it was what the French would call a white marriage. I don't think it was ever consummated. And she was a brilliant and beautiful woman, much older than Cole, who presided over the household and saw to it that the parties were as wonderful as he meant them to be, and who arranged everything, kept the great scrapbooks that made this book possible, all the wonderful pictures, all carefully pasted in.
The secretary?
No, this was Linda, his wife, who did everything.
Yeah.
And she introduced him to the great fashionable and intellectual world of Europe that was very exciting for him, far more than New Haven had been, of course.
Yeah. I wonder who got, there's some incredible pictures in here of his apartments and the homes he rented in Italy and all. And who got his Waldorf Towers apartment? It was made especially for him, wasn't it?
Yes, and then
had a turtle shell wall or something?
They had, it was designed by Billy Baldwin, and it had tortoiseshell leather walls and brass pipes for the bookshelves. Mm-hmm. And he left his effects and his houses and even this library to friends so that they continue to exist, but not in the Waldorf Towers. Yeah. And when he asked Billy Baldwin to design this apartment for him in the Towers, it was strange of him to say this. First he said, "I give you carte blanche," which Billy Baldwin says is the worst thing he ever hears from a client. He doesn't want carte blanche.
He wants some direction.
He wants direction.
Yeah.
And then Cole said, "But remember, I'm Broadway." And of course, he was the least Broadway-like person in the world, but he dreamed of himself as being Broadway.
Yeah.
And so Billy gave him something which was Cole Porter and not Broadway.
That's a hard line to deliver. Remember, I'm Broadway.
Yeah.
I mean, for an actor, that hard to imagine anybody would be able to say that. Did he hate any of his songs?
Only the Rosalie, the one that,
The
he had to write for
Yeah.
L.B. Mayer. And then when he made L.B. Mayer cry, when this gross beast of a man burst into tears, Cole felt that was a genuine triumph.
Yeah.
So he obviously must have admired his song as much as he hated it.
Did you ever meet him?
No, never met him.
He was sort of a recluse toward the end, wasn't he?
Yes, and he was
Didn't come out.
of another generation, and so we never happened to overlap.
Yeah.
But
I always hoped I'd glimpse him somewhere, in New York or something, but I never did see him. Yeah.
there are lots of friends of his still alive, though, around.
I know someone who bumped into him in a men's room. He was coming out, and he bumped into him, and he had a cane, and he felt that he'd almost knocked him over. He was very small and frail.
Yes.
He said he was so charming about it, even though he felt that he might have hurt him. Apparently, he had just vast charm.
Yes.
Yeah.